So, for today's discussion, I think we should start off with the biggest thing in the world right now, which is COVID-19. And I would love to hear the panel's take on it. I know there are a lot of rumors, there are a lot of facts, all the news is mixed up. It's very difficult to extract the truth from what is being told to all of us. Samrat, maybe you could brief us in about the situation with COVID-19 and how the world or the press has been giving it a negative spin related to vaping.
Reality is that there hasn't been done, no real correlation has really been done about it. This is fear mongering that's happening at best. And they have done this in the past, right? They always want to slam smoking as one, and now vaping is the new thing. And so they're finding everything to bash it with, because there isn't really any study. In fact, some of the studies are that the people who actually quit smoking were more likely to catch the COVID rather than the people who were continuing to smoke. At least that's what the numbers say. So there is very little truth to this, and it's more to do with fear mongering than anything else. That's the way I have seen it, at least. I don't know. What about you, Sabrak?
So I've been looking at the evidence, right? Dr. Fastlos has looked at it. There are some other researchers who have looked at it. So one is the correlation between COVID and smoking. Now, even there, the evidence is flimsy. There is not enough evidence to say that we know for sure that smoking is a factor in you getting infected by COVID. They looked at the numbers or the studies, even though they are small, coming out of China, and they saw that the proportion of smokers in that population and the proportion of smokers who got COVID in that study doesn't match. So in fact, the smokers are much lower in number. So that's with smoking. And I think there is also a history of connecting smoking to any new problem that comes up. It's sort of a strategy to go against smoking, which can have its own merits. But let's talk about science and what are the numbers saying. So one, it's not clear whether smoking is a factor for COVID. What is definitely not clear is whether vaping is a factor for COVID. Now, people would vape to get away from smoking. Now, if they were made to quit vaping and go back to smoking, that's a public health loss. And no one, I think, is suggesting that. What they are doing is, while going after smoking, they're also adding vaping with it. So smoking and vaping are a factor for COVID. So we need to watch out against that. There is no scientific evidence to that effect yet. There are a lot of public authorities who are just reading from the hymn sheet that no, this is bad, this is bad. So we need to watch out for that. But as far as evidence goes, there isn't any evidence linking vaping as a factor for COVID. What I would still recommend that vapers do is that take precautions. There is this thing that the vaping aerosol. The vaping aerosol could infect others, which again is the same thing as if you are infected and you're breathing in the presence of others, you're likely to infect them. That's the same thing with vaping. So there's no additional risk there.
Abhinav Sharma says that he read somewhere that one of the ingredients, propylene glycol, used in vape juices is very good against COVID-19. And that's something which I have also read, but not everything which we read is true.
There was a study lots of years ago, if I remember correctly, it was done in the 1960s, where a very small amount of PG was sprayed as an aerosol, exactly like what you do with perfume bottles or deodorants. A very small amount was sprayed and it was found to be very effective against various kinds of virus. But that study has not been replicated with COVID-19 and it has limited application to our current crisis which is going on in the world right now. PG does have some antiviral properties, but don't rely on it. As Samrat said, vapers are not at additional risk, but we are not safer either. Vaping and COVID have no relation.